Harvard in Windsor, and I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 1941, and I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, that's Lawrence County, and at age 2, and given the name of a murdered twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married at Childers. Peggy and Carl were both murdered by their mother, Lina, and I just recently got this family's photo where I was taken, and I remember they had to have brought people from Decatur or someone because they had no photographic equipment. They had no cars here at this home, so it's deliberate because of who I am. I tried to run away from being in the photo, and they grabbed me and brought me back, and I was screaming, I don't belong in this family. So this is a picture of me in high school. This is one with George, as in George Washington, who stole all this from me and then kidnapped me. I'm Victoria II. This is my dad, who loved me dearly. Never married Wallace Simpson. And my dad was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. And I wanted to put this. Don't have room to get organized. I'm pretty sick at the moment. I'm 76 years old. I wanted to address this to Shane Montgomery's parents. He's gone missing the day before Thanksgiving. And my thing is, I've been telling about this. I wrote about Mindcontrol-murders, 76 till April Fool Day of 80, when they put antifreeze in me, and I should have died. And I was taken illegally back in the condition I was in to Huntsville, Alabama, Madison County, and I went to work for the district attorney, Fred Simpson. You get into clues to my identity, which I found out in late 83. Simpson, as in Wallace Simpson, was supposed to marry my father, a total lie. She married a double. And I was living at Warren House Apartments there while I was working at the DA's office, as in the Warren Commission that covered up the murder of JFK. And also Martin Luther King comes into this too, not just because there was mind-control murders, that's what was involved in there, but because the Kennedys helped in my kidnapping. Joe was ambassador to England during that time, sent there by Roosevelt. My uncle George VI, illegal, helped in my kidnapping and helped take down my dad with all these lies. That's all it is in a 99-year seal. The Illuminati, or the Freemasons, the Jews, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, were part of, they are, the Freemasons, Illuminati, that helped kidnap me. Now, where does this fit into this young man's disappearance? Well, the place to go and ask the questions is the agency who did the programming. They can tell you where he is. Your media is not going to tell you, and believe me, they all know, because if they tell you the truth, it leads back to me. Just like last night on Meet the Press, or it was one of those, Meet the Press, they were telling about the power of belief in curing, and they had this man getting out of the wheelchair. I believe he was, I don't remember. He was a religious, I believe he was Catholic, and I don't remember his rank, if that's what you want to call it. But they were telling suddenly about the curing of prayer and all this. I told about this when I did a medical malpractice book about mind control. It's the Tesla files. And I had lists, so did my friend Jack Hartsfield, who's a reporter in FBI, lists of curing people. They can create an illness, or they can and cure it. This goes back, I don't know how long, but that was part of the deaths of Warren and Rosina Matthews at Piedmont Hospital I wrote about. They were killed because they knew too much. And then you can get into the Larry McDonald I ran in the campaign and was flown to Larry Flint's. And Larry Flint told everybody, he helped me in the campaign, that I knew who was responsible for his shooting. And that's my name, I want to get this in real quick. This is part of the Mindcontrol-murders, and this is what Shane Montgomery, the same thing. This is my sons Mark and Scott who've been through hell. I don't know where they are. Old photo of me. They're heir to the crown after me. I'm Victoria II. This is one of the mass murders, Tucson, Arizona, and it's Gabby Gifford, Congresswoman, and Mark Kelly, twin to Scott Kelly, and both of them are astronauts. And all of this space deal, the Brits and the Germans paid for my hostage taking, and that was in Huntsville, Alabama. This is one of the Mindcontrol-murders. It has nothing to do with mental illness. They're treating him for a non-existent illness, and this is a German diplomat's son who our paths crossed in '83, and he was a student as Elizabeth Haysom, and they're in prison. That was here in Bedford County, and yes, everybody knows. And I want to put this in real quick. This is American spy that was supposed to marry my father. It was all a lie, and he's a double. So they took down my father, who's married, and she's illegal, using my money, living in my castles. This is another of the Mindcontrol-murders. It's a Virginia State trooper. I believe his name's Tom Childs, Don and Laura Childs. It's Takeoff on the Childers, but they were shot in the Jefferson National Forest, Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech and so many of the murders happened. Like this was a psychiatrist, he's a four-hood shooter. He's born here in Roanoke, Benton, and he went to school at Virginia Tech. So there's a bunch of them at Virginia Tech using mind control, like the April the 16th of '07, the 33 shootings. But here's what I wanted to get to, and what's happened to me, nobody cares. But even in the birth certificates, when I got them for Peggy Ann Dempsey, Mary Childers, this is the woman that killed her twins. I had to call her mother. And this is a glossed over picture, believe me. It was a hellhole I lived in and a pigsty. But this is, where are they coming from? They're using names and dates and all this. And it's the agency that's doing it. And, you know, it's the people that hated me and allowed it to happen. So when I got the birth certificates, they're from Alabama. Montgomery's the state capital, so that's where it, so I'm not going to give addresses or anything. I'm just going to show, I'm going to show the Dr. Irwin, because even he, the twins, back then in '38, they were born in a different year than me, and then I'm brought there and given their birth date, and they had to change it. And the state of Alabama just sent me a letter saying, well, Dr. Irwin was mistaken on the year, so they flipped it, and they marked through, on, which is illegal on the birth certificates from the state, and they marked in January the 7th of '39, which is the date I grew up with all those years, so it's hard to change all that. And they just marked through it on the twins. So the point is, I wanted to go back. I was just looking today, and let me get this in if I can. The clues, if you want to call it that, is the Irish pub and the Agatha, or is it Christie, that's nearby, and his name is Montgomery, and the Shane, and I'm not going to even try to explain that, but the Montgomery is like Montgomery, Alabama, or Montgomery County, which is Blacksburg, Virginia Tech, where the shootings next door to me took place. This is to show you what they did. The doctor's name and in the letter that they sent me that he must have made a mistake, they didn't even spell his name right. It's Dr. Price Irwin. Here it is right here out of Google. And they had Dr. Price Irvin, I-R-V-I-N. I'm not going to show that. It's on the letter they sent me that he must have made a mistake. This is a joke that's gone on. Now, he has a son, Willard Irwin, who died. But this